I've always seen hobbies as opportunities to do something we really like. And that's something great for father and son to do, and for grandfathers and children to do. Hobbyco has been a place where families can come and enjoy hobbies over the last 90 years. It is that sort of place where the people can start a hobby, which is a hobby for life. I'm Mike Wall, owner of Hobbyco, and this is 90 years of serious fun. Hobbyco started in 1935. Starting in the 30s, products were either metal or wood. Balsa wood was a very popular model-making material. This is a balsa wood model, and it's typical of what we were selling in the 1930s. It's got a balsa wood frame underneath the skin. It's all glued together following a plan, and then it's covered with tissue paper, and then the tissue paper is painted with a lacquer, which when it dries shrinks the tissue and it makes the model very solid. So if you feel it now, it's quite solid. You wouldn't think that that's only tissue paper. And then the tissue is then painted in the colours that you want to make the model. It would have a rubber band from there to the back, and when you wound it up, it'd wind up the rubber band, then you'd launch it when you got it tight enough, launch it, and the propeller would fly the model. On the metal side, you had clockwork trains, which are all made of metal, and you also had metal toys. This is a Hornby O-gauge clockwork locomotive of the period 1930s through to 1950s. I had one similar to this, and it ran on track like that. And it was wind up, clockwork, wind it up, take the thing out, and away she go on steel track. So remember, all wood or metal. The company was trading under the name of KD and the Model Flying Company for a little while, and it started in Chatswood on Pacific Highway, and it started initially as a toy shop with some involvement with hobbies. It quickly changed and moved into a hobby product range and started making its own balsa models and importing balsa wood from Ecuador at the time, and making lacquer, glue, everything you need to make balsa wood models. At the end of the war, they had really branched out more into the hobby craft area, and they decided they had to change their name. So after much negotiating with the Registrar General's office at the time, they got approval to use the name Hobbyco. By 1951, we find the first fold-out catalogue. It was a flyer which folded out and gave all the prices. We went from that catalogue to a series of catalogues of this size, and they slowly graduated over the years until they came to this size. And that was a collector's item back then. I remember going into Hobbyco to try and make sure I didn't miss out on the annual catalogue. My initial involvement with Hobbyco as a child was back in about 1954 when I was given my first Hornby 00 train set. So I formed a love of model railway, and that was probably my passion in Hobbyco. And I followed that through to the time I started becoming an engineer, and I became an electrical engineer because I used to pull the trains apart. I have here the Hornby 00 model of the Mallard. The Mallard is a famous locomotive in its own right. It set a speed record for steam engines, which has never been surpassed. It travelled at 124 miles per hour, approximately 203 kilometres per hour. It was metal, no plastic, so to keep the electricity flowing without a short circuit, they put a rail down the middle and they insulated it from the metal out of tracks. And this is the pickup, which was used to pick up the electricity, and it went in through there and out through the wheels to make the circuit. Come 1950s, plastic appeared, and that was a game changer. So all of a sudden we have models being made by Airfix, Revell, Frog, Aurora. They were the main brands at the time, and they were producing models of ships, cars, planes, and military models, all which could be glued together. Right, so it created a whole new world for modelers out there, which wasn't possible up to that period of time. Lego appeared in that period of time. It was a wooden product before World War II. Mid-1950s, it was a plastic model as the brick we come to know. This is a Batmobile made by Corgi. It's the start of toy companies making products related to movies. TVs appeared in the 1950s. By this era, TV series like Batman was very popular. But this was the start of introducing products relating to a movie or a TV series. From Aliens through to Star Wars, you name it, there are models out there, either ones you build or collect. When Jurassic Park came out, we were selling dinosaur models hand over fist. But we also went and made a big model in the window of a dinosaur, and it's sort of about 5 foot tall, looking like Tyrannosaurus Rex. Corgi was one of the first ones into this area, introducing products relating to a movie or a TV series. This is 1960, 62, 63, around that era. In the 60s, the transistor appeared. So we had the transistor radios appearing everywhere. So all of a sudden, anything which needed radio transmission, such as radio control, became possible in a much more compact and affordable manner. It took a while for that technology to work its way into hobbies and other products, but it probably didn't start to really show up until the early 70s. Visitors would come to Sydney to the Hobbyco in Sydney, which was down at 561 George Street, which is just south of Liverpool Street. The reason why it was there originally is because everything was centred around Central Railway. Everyone came into town by train. Business continued to grow, and it's been lucky in many ways that it had a very entrepreneurial manager at the beginning called Frank Morrell, who joined the company about 1938 and stayed with it and managed it right through to 1979. After that, the management of it fell to the remaining accountant in that company, and it wasn't until 1979, 1980 that I actually started to have some dealings with Hobbyco, and I joined a company called Burns-Philp. It had its own hardware chain and it was looking for other hardware chains to buy. Hoffnungs had the BBC group. Burns-Philp made a raid and was successful in acquiring it. Along came all the businesses within Hoffnungs, which included Hobbyco. Come the 1970s, radio-controlled cars came into appearance, powered by rechargeable batteries. The alkaline battery appeared, which was the precursor of the lithium polymer battery we have today, but the alkaline battery was a major step forward. The major radio control event happened in the beginning of 1980 with the appearance from Tamiya of a radio control car called the Wild Willie. Now, it was a kit. You had to build it from scratch. It did have alkaline batteries, and because you built it, you knew how to repair it. That was the major thing. But it could do wheelies. No one had ever come up with a product like that, and it was the most iconic product of that era. The Hobbyco RC racing team used to compete with other races, and they used more high-tech, bigger batteries, bigger motors than what was available in the Tamiya range. They all enjoyed their time. 1984, Hobbyco is part of Burns-Philp, and they produce this catalogue. The cover actually is a painting done by a renowned artist, and he specialises in doing transportation paintings. That was 1984. We went in underneath the BBC hardware and occupied the basement of that for about 5 years. And that's where it was when I bought the business. I acquired the business in 1989. In 1993, we were approached to go across the road to the Mid-City Centre, which was on Pitt Street Mall, which was an ideal site for us because Pitt Street Mall was gaining in popularity as a place to be. We had a large neon sign overlooking Pitt Street Mall. If you had a look at the neon sign, it actually had the plane, the train, and the wheels of the train moved in neon. We occupied a shop on the second floor, which was about 3 times the size of the shop that we were occupying underneath BBC. So it allowed us to expand a lot into other areas. There are a lot of products on the market in Europe which weren't in Australia. We came across a company selling a Qantas 747, something which we found in the Mid-City Centre with a lot of tourists. We were selling them at a great rate. And we found that the model came from a factory in Scotland called Worcester. So all of a sudden we found out we were an importer and distributor. And you'll find that at all the airports in Australia, and numbers of these products. And you turn over the back and down the bottom, you'll find Hobbyco. This is a Bandai Namco kit of a Japanese animation character, and it's related to a TV series which had been going in Japan since 1979. This is a snap-together kit, no glue, and it's also pre-coloured so you don't have to paint it. As you can see on the sprue inside this particular kit, there are multiple colours on the sprue. It comes like that, whereas most kits are all one colour, like that, throughout the model. In the process of putting it together, you find out that it's actually, the model is articulated. So you can actually pose it in different positions. Again, not many of the other brands can do anything like that, but that is standard with the Bandai Namco kits. Probably back in about 1995, we introduced it to the Australian market and then got the distributorship for it in 2001. Mid-City Centre gave us a space to expand and attract new customers. You couldn't help but see the Hobbyco sign on Pitt Street Mall. And we stayed there from 1993 to 2007 when the building was sold to be demolished. We ended up finding a home in the QVB, and the QVB Queen Victoria building is not going to be demolished. Hobbyco is a family business, has been from the beginning. When I took it over, my family worked in the business, and second generations, grandchildren worked in the business as well. We treat our customers as family members, and many of them are into second and third generations as customers for Hobbyco. We have had staff who we treat as family, and they've provided the expertise for the products we have. Hobbyco has survived this long through continuation of management, as well as its unique product range and its staff that it had over that period of time. Technology made a dramatic change every decade, and Hobby's products have changed with it. We have evolved over the last 90 years and we'll keep evolving. Between our customers and our loyal staff, there is a great community. It's made Hobbyco a place where you can take your fun seriously.